Wife says I'm a mama's boy because I keep visiting my sick mother 3 times a week. She gave me an ultimatum to choose between her or my mom. Then I overheard her and my MIL saying they hope my mom dies soon. My mother has stage 4 ovarian cancer. She was diagnosed 14 months ago. She lives alone in the house I grew up in, 20 minutes from mine, and 3 times a week I drive over after work to bring groceries, set up her pill organizer, drive her to chemo when my sister can't, and sit with her for an hour while she tells me the same stories from 1986. My wife Sloan used to come with me. For the first 2 months, she held my mother's hand and cried in the car on the way home. Then the visits became a problem. Sloan started calling them the obsession. She said a grown man should not need to see his mother 3 times a week. She said I was emotionally enmeshed, that I cared more about my mother than about our marriage, that her therapist agreed I was a textbook mama's boy. I asked her when her therapist had met my mother. She did not answer. The comments got sharper over the fall. She would sigh loudly when I picked up my keys. She would schedule date nights on chemo days and act wounded when I chose chemo. She told me my mother was using guilt to control me. By December, she stopped pretending. She sat me down at the dining table and gave me an ultimatum, her or my mother. She said she could not be married to a man whose priority was a dying woman. She said I had until the new year to set boundaries, which meant cutting my visits to once a month. She said her mother agreed completely. Her mother, Maureen, had moved into our guest room in November to help during the holidays. Maureen did not like me. Maureen had never liked me. Maureen had once told Sloan, at our own wedding, that she could do better. I knew because the videographer caught it on a hot mic. I did not give Sloan an answer at the table. I said I needed to think. That night I could not sleep, so at 1 in the morning I went downstairs for water. The light was on in the den. The door was cracked. Sloan and Maureen were inside, talking low. I stopped in the hallway. Maureen was saying, once the old woman finally goes, the house sells, and you said he's the only kid she trusts with the accounts. You just have to hold on a little longer. Sloan said, I know, but the visits are driving me insane. I keep telling him to cut them, and he won't. Maureen said, let him visit. The more attached he looks, the cleaner it is when she passes. Honestly, the sooner she dies, the better. Then you get the estate without the drama. Sloan laughed. She actually laughed. She said, God, I hope it's soon. I can't keep faking sad at chemo. I stood in that hallway and did not move for a long time. Then I went back upstairs and opened the notes app and wrote down every word while it was fresh. The next morning, I bought a small voice recorder. For 3 weeks, I left it charging in the den, where Maureen and Sloan talked every night after I went to bed. I did not go to bed. I sat on the stairs. The recordings were worse than the first night. They had a timeline. They had talked to a real estate agent about my mother's house. Sloan had asked Maureen whether she should encourage me to take my mother off the expensive immunotherapy because it was burning through what should be ours. That was the line that made me call a lawyer. I met with an attorney named Priscilla. I played her 90 seconds. She told me to stop recording, that I had enough, and to say nothing to anyone. I called my sister and told her everything. We met with my mother's estate attorney and removed Sloan's name from the one document it had quietly appeared on, a beneficiary form Sloan had helped my mother fill out in October. My mother signed a new will and a healthcare directive naming my sister and me. I moved my mother's accounts to a trust Sloan could never touch. Then I filed. Sloan was served at the house with Maureen still in the guest room. She screamed that I was the one abandoning the marriage. I handed her a flash drive in a sealed envelope and told her my attorney had the originals. Maureen moved out that weekend. Sloan's lawyer stopped returning aggressive emails the day after they listened to the den recordings. My mother is still alive. I still visit her 3 times a week. Last Tuesday, she told me the 1986 story all over again. I let her finish every word of it.